Hello vegan Prism, and today for our next sanctuary we are at the Island Sanctuary down by Marsa Schlock, and with us we have Sylvia here. Hello Sylvia.
Hi, hello.
Hello, and you might also see running around we have Barbie and oh my god, I forgot
Lily. Lily.
Yes.
And Blossom sometimes makes an appearance.
Yes. So Sylvia, can you tell us a bit about the Island Sanctuary?
Right. The Island Sanctuary is actually the oldest, the first dog sanctuary in Malta.
Right.
It started in, I think it was 1986. Yeah, something like that. It started on Manuel Island. That is why it is the Island Sanctuary.
Okay.
That is the island referred to. And then when development started at Manuel Island, the government offered us this place to move the sanctuary here.
So you were in Fort Manuel, on Manuel Island?
Manuel Island? No, not in a building.
Oh,
It's
right,
just
okay.
sort of a space with makeshift, what do you call them? Pans and shelter like that. But no, we weren't actually paying a rent for anything.
Alright, okay.
I wasn't there at that time, mind you. I only joined when they moved to Delamara.
Alright. And how long have you been with the Island Sanctuary?
26 years, I think.
Wow, that's
Longer.
a very long time.
Longer.
God knows how many beautiful souls you have seen come and go.
It's true. I mean, they've been years full of satisfaction, full of hard times as well sometimes.
Of course.
But there is always, if you save only one dog, that makes it all worth it.
Yes.
But I mean, many people still say, I can't come and help you because I can't take the suffering. And that's what I used to think before I came, you know. But once I started, I remember Claire, one of the first things she told me, she said, look, you can stay at home and cry because these dogs have no one to help them, or you can make a difference and help them. So I believed her, it worked.
Words to live by.
Yes.
And now you are here by the Lamara Fort Tassilj. It's quite a large place, but what is the maximum number of dogs that you can handle here at the Island Sanctuary?
The word is handle, not cramming.
Yes, handle. Obviously, you need to make sure that whilst they're here, they're living a life and not just merely existing.
We call this the hotel of the five-star hotel of sanctuaries.
Yes.
We always boast of that. The reason is we treat each dog as if it's our own pet, you know. So we don't think of them as coming here. They spend a couple of years here and then they go to a home. No, we think of them as our pets. So we want to give them everything that they would get in a home.
Yes.
If we can manage to find a great home, that's very good. We're very happy. And we can rescue another dog. So at the beginning, I remember when I started here, we used to get maybe 60, 68 dogs. We didn't have too many. And then there was a raid at another sanctuary, and we ended up taking most of the dogs. So our population doubled. But back then it was very hard, but we coped because we were much younger and there were more of us. So over the years we've tried to cap the number at we always say no, we can't cope with 150, we can't cope with 140. So we're kind of downsizing. In fact, when we applied for our license, we applied for a sanctuary for 100 dogs. So this place can comfortably take a lot more than 100. But if they are to live up to our standards, it can never be more than 100 waiting stand.
And it's important to keep a certain level of standard because we're talking about living sentient beings here, and quality is obviously much more important than quantity.
Exactly. We've never gone for quantities. We always say quality.
Yes.
If we can't afford to give a dog a decent life, don't get another one. Even for sanctuaries, especially for sanctuaries. Because many people have the impression that when you just open the gate, you know, and put the dog in with the others, I tell you, I will end up dead. because there's a whole process to admitting a dog.
Yes, of course. I mean, they're all individuals with their
Uh-huh.
character. Some of them get along, some of them won't.
Some of them hate the sight of each
Yes,
other.
yes, yes.
I mean, you get these
Just like
stories
us
and-
humans, you know, we have the same. We have the same thing.
Exactly.
So you've been here, as you said, 26 years. And I'm sure you know what's the typical day for a volunteer here.
Okay. The typical day depends on what kind of volunteers you are, because there are different jobs. For example, there's the kitchen staff.
Mm-hmm.
What's left of them, because really the only days we have kitchen staff now is, I think, Tuesday and probably Wednesday. The other days the feeding volunteers have to do the kitchen as well, because there's no one to do the job. For example, for them, the only thing that they are concerned with is keeping the kitchen clean and washing the dishes, seeing that everything is in order here, which might not sound like much, but it makes such a big such a big difference to the staff that are working at that moment.
Yes.
And then there are the feeders. Feeders have a very particular job. They have to see. There are usually three of them. One will prepare the food and dish it out on the dishes, and the other two actually distribute the food. But again, it's not a case of throwing a bowl of food on the floor and going away. You have to stay with them.
Yes.
Because many of them will only eat if you give them attention. They're like kids.
Yes.
And
yes.
I mean, it's very, very common to find one of the helpers on the ground feeding a dog and feeding.
So sweet.
One reason I am not a feeder, because I don't have that kind of patience. And then after some time the bowls are collected and they are ready for the next shift. So that's feeding. Then there is medication. Again, there are two kinds of medication. There's the morning medication, which is quite extensive. And by medication, I don't just mean medicine, I mean also supplements. Because we have older dogs, some of them have arthritis, and they all need to have that. And then every month there is the tick and flea treatment,
Okay.
plus the worming every 6 months. So there's always a lot going on.
There's always going on.
But it depends on what shift you are in. For example, there is the afternoon shift, which is, we call it the biscuit shift. For me, that is the best one. The reason is because in the afternoon, we go into every pen, excuse me, we go into every single pen and spend some time with the dogs inside, depending on what the dogs want. I mean, some dogs will spend an hour happily playing, others just want to lie on the floor and you just throw them and play. It depends on what the dog wants. This is very important so that the dogs feel that there is always somebody for them.
Yes, yes.
And another way for us to get to know the dogs. For example, if you realize that when you touch the ear, the dog cries out, okay, so there's a problem there,
Yes,
so
don't
somebody
touch
has to
the
take
ear,
her to the vet, or somebody has to take her to the vet, that kind of thing.
Yes.
It's also the time when you change bedding, and especially now when winter is starting to get cooler, many of the dogs play with their bedding, they take it outside. So I have to change that, fill up the biscuit bowls, well, we call it the biscuit shift, we give them dry food. Because in the morning they take cooked food, in the afternoon it's dry food. We always need to know that there's something available, because a hungry dog is an angry dog. Like man.
Like me, yes.
So it's true. There was a time when we were trying to cut down on food so that they would not get so tubby.
Yes.
But we had more fights, so better.
And it affects the mind, though. It affects the mind.
Because you are, I mean, they are not locked inside all day long. They are out for a lot of time. But there will be times when there are 3 dogs in one pen, and if there is not enough food. What do you expect?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
So you have to prevent trouble from happening before it happens. Part of the morning routine, I didn't mention that, is the runs. We call them the runs. Every day, the dogs come out, they have designated time slots For example, you can, there are dogs that spend most of the day outside, like Leo.
Alright.
Leo, his pen door is always open. He can go out, he can go in. The reason is he does not cause trouble.
Uh-huh.
But some dogs, when they come out, all the other dogs have to be locked inside because they are trouble. One more reason why you have to know the dogs. One of the reasons, the main reason that we can't just accept volunteers, because sometimes I get, for example, a company and they want to do the social, I forgot what
the social responsibility.
Social responsibility. When they say, can a group of us come, 18, can you do it 18 people? I mean, the dogs would go crazy if they find 18 strangers. We just need a small number of volunteers who come regularly. That is the important thing, and that is where the trouble is. Because to find someone who can come regularly, even if it's only 1 hour a week, but to give a regular spot is very difficult.
Yes, and especially today, the life has become so rushed.
It's true.
But yes, at least 1 hour a week, or one or 2 hours a month at least. It's
something you can count on.
Yes.
But the problem is most people cannot even give you that.
Yes, it's very true.
And that is in fact what happened to us. Why we are the ones who stayed. That we are the ones with not no commitments, with the least commitments.
Yes. Yes.
Because the younger ones, the younger volunteers, they have families of their own. Huh?
Yes.
And the older ones, so many of them are babysitting now. So
yes, which actually leads us to our next question. I mean, another big way people can obviously help you is by adopting dogs instead of buying dogs. Are all your dogs neutered and chipped and vaccinated so they can?
They are. They have always been. I mean, we started neutering, microchipping. We only started doing it when it became standard practice.
Yes, yes.
But we have always neutered our dogs. I remember at the beginning when we were starting up, we didn't have enough money, so we would neuter the females to obviously stop the population from increasing, and then we started neutering the troublesome dogs because they do calm down.
Yes, of course they calm down.
Eventually, when we were more organized and we had regular fundraising, then we started even neutering dogs on the street and dogs at the dockyard, at the shipyard. I mean, we used to do so many dogs. I remember there was a time, I did it just me. There was one guy in Sida, he had about 48 dogs. And I used to go every week and I would take 2 of his dogs to be neutered.
48 dogs, 1 person,
One person. And I would take them every week just to be neutered. We paid from our own funds, but that was, for us, that was the only way we could see a solution to the problem.
Yes.
And back then there was nobody to do it. There were no neutering drives, no dog straws. We were the only ones who were doing it, and people were saying, "You're crazy, you're wasting your money on street dogs." But we were investing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, people waste their money on so many stupid stuff. I mean, caring of living beings is definitely not a waste. And is there a particular adoption which sticks in your mind whenever you think?
Yes, I have to mention Zoya. Zoya was a rather a strange story. Zoya belonged to a family, and she was on our waiting list. There were, I think, 5 years. I used to work here full time. I was seconded by the government, and during those 5 years, I used to keep track of the waiting list and practically that kind of stuff. And this Zoya was on our list, and eventually it was her time to be admitted. And when I spoke to the owner, it was a woman, and she said, "I'm not going to give her to the sanctuary, I'm going to keep her because I am so sorry for her, I don't want to see her go." And I said, "Well, good for you, I'm glad you want to give her a second chance, but please be aware, if you lose your place in the waiting list, you'll have to wait again." And that was it. I mean, I thought the story was closed. Now the problem with Zoya was, this woman had grandchildren in the house, and they were one boy in particular was teasing the dog, and the dog was very, she was
Frustrated by
she
the
was very
teasing,
frustrated, and she would snap at him. She never actually bit him, but she did snap at him, and they were afraid. The grandparents were afraid that the little boy would get hurt. So rather than teach the boy to leave the dog alone, they took the easy way out, and they wanted to get rid of the dog. But as I said, they had second thoughts. But after some time, she appeared here. This dog appeared here. What happened was, it's unbelievable. This woman, she decided that she had made a mistake and she had to get rid of the dog. So she actually tried to make an appointment with a vet to take the dog and have her put to sleep. Because she said because I told her, you will lose your place in the list. And she thought she didn't want to wait another day. But thank God, when she called, one of our volunteers was in the vet. And she said, the volunteer said, why put her to sleep? We can put her on our waiting list. And the woman said, she was on your waiting list, but I changed my mind. But anyway, she ended up coming here, and she was with us for, I think, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even more now. And during those years with us, she was very, very aggressive, very unreliable. There were a few people she loved, but most of us she couldn't stand us.
Yes, she was traumatized.
And we were very, very wary of her, you know. I mean, I could go into her pen, but I couldn't open the door and go in the room.
Yes.
She would bite me for sure. So
it's very understandable.
But we tolerated her because we understood her problem. And as soon as she came here, I got an email from the son. The dog actually belonged to the son. Okay. And he said, have you found a home for her? And I thought, are we crazy? How can we find a home for her? She is so aggressive. And then he wrote back and he said, no, she's not aggressive. It was just because of my nephew that she snapped. And he told me, when I have my own home, I will come for her. And I remember thinking, in your dreams. But you know, when he bought his own flat, he came for her. Wow. And he said, I want her back. And that was something that we never did. If you give up a dog, you've lost her for good.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you gave her up once.
Of course, yes.
But in this case, it was not his choice.
It was a genuine case, you know.
He lived with his parents. I mean, he had to obey his parents in the end because he was sharing their house.
Oh, sure.
We all understood that. So he came, and we said, see how it goes. I wasn't here. That is one of my biggest regrets. When this happened, I wasn't here. But usually when a stranger came, we would look her up. And this time he stood there, and they let her out, and she went straight, you know, because that's what she would always. But she would always go to attack.
Yeah.
And when she got close to him, she stopped and she started sniffing.
She realized it was her.
And he called her, and as soon as he called her, because they filmed the whole thing, as soon as he called her, I mean, she was like the ones you see on Facebook, you know, dog overjoyed. She couldn't stop crying, and she was rolling. I mean, she went crazy when she saw him. And we said, well, we think she wants to come with me. You bet she wanted to. Hey, Barbie, honey. So he went to his car to get the collar and the lead, and as soon as he left the sanctuary, she was howling. I mean, she was heartbroken.
Because she thought he was going to leave again.
So he took her again. I mean, none of us will forget. And sometimes he does visit us, and she's a different dog. She loves everybody. Some of us still don't trust her. But she loves everybody.
But she was psychologically
It's amazing
traumatized.
because people think it's only